Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. Hey, what's up, everybody, man? Thank you for joining in for another episode of the Loveology podcast. Hey, what's up, love? How you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Been running around, but you know what? Hey, that's what it is when you're daddying and momming. I learned momming this morning, so
okay.
Yeah, it's a new word. I'll put you on game. Don't worry about it. I'll put you on game. So, babe, we have some special guests today. Who do we have, love?
Oh, we have like you said, special guest. We have Marcus and Kelsey.
Hey! What up? What's up, Kelsey? What's up, Marcus? What's up? How y'all doing?
Oh, we're still alive, so that's good, I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Every day is a new day.
Good to be alive.
So real quick, tell us a little bit about you guys, and we'll jump into this episode. But we want to know a little bit about you guys.
MarcusBoles. I got my wife, my right hand with me. Well, we've been rocking, was it 9 years? I don't lose count. 9, we're going on 9 this year. A little bit of everything under the sun. Here in Memphis, we over the 9 years, a few times tried to leave or escape Memphis, but God multiple times said no. Y'all stay there in Memphis.
Got some work to do.
Yeah. We now know the work that we had to do for sure. But now we love the city. It's centrally located to a lot of the great places. Excuse me.
Okay, well, to sum it up, we have 1 million kids. Not really. We have 4 kids, 2-year-old, set of triplets.
You said, hold on. Just get this straight. How many kids you say you have?
We have 4. So we have a 2-year-old and a set of triplets.
What?
Yes.
We're going to get into that.
Yes.
We're definitely going to get into that. We want to hear more. What? And you also have some other members of the family.
We have 3 dogs and
wow.
we have a fish now. So yes, and we have a fish, and soon we'll have a llama.
A llama?
Yes, I want a llama.
I don't know about the llama.
We're getting the llama.
I don't know about the llama. Let's call us the 10 heartbeats right now.
Wow. Well, hey, look out, Memphis 10. We finna have a new zoo coming through.
Right.
What's it? The Tiger King, the Llama Queen. There it is.
The llama queen. Oh my gosh.
Jason.
So this is basically what we're going to be talking about today is the fact that you all have triplets. You just had a beautiful set of triplets.
Yes.
And you had a 2-year-old, but she's 2 now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so let's just go briefly, tell us their names and tell us their sexes too.
Okay, so Perseus, that's our 2-year-old. She is obviously she female. And then we have Zoya. She is also female. And then we have, who came next? Pius. He is male. And then Zaven, he is male.
Okay,
Awesome.
so the set of triplets is 2 boys and 1 girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all have like the perfect set of setups. You have
Yeah.
2 girls and 2 boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? So are you? Look, I'm learning as I grow older. You shouldn't ask certain questions, but I'm gonna ask this question anyways. It's not gonna be bad.
Yeah, just throw the disclaimer out there. It always works.
Look, do y'all plan on breaking the tiebreaker?
Oh my gosh, no.
Nah.
Like we did. No. Like we really did. When they were in the hospital, we were having like baby fever because they weren't here. So we honestly sat and talked about having another kid, and everybody was like, well, I'm not helping y'all, and y'all are stupid. And that is just so, it's like, oh, okay, well. And then when they all came home, it was like, yeah, we were tripping. So no.
Yeah.
Right.
I slapped the hell out of myself like 4 months ago. Like, bro, are you you serious? Like, are you really gonna entertain this conversation?
Right. No.
So, nah. It's a wrap.
Well, we have two, and we're not entertaining anymore.
Oh,
So.
y'all have to have one more though. At least one.
Hey man, if God go ahead and throw that down there, and I, maybe I get paralyzed on that last one.
Oh my God.
That's the only way. Whatever God want to bless us with, we'll take it.
Okay. So moving right into it, let's just start with finding out how the two of you lovebirds met. You said you've been together for 9 years. Have you been married for 9 years or together for 9 years?
We've been together for 9. We've been married for 5. This year was 5.
Yeah. So August will be 5, 2015. Yeah.
Yeah. So we met through my best friend at U of M. I was just trying to get involved in campus. And Marcus was president of EMOC, and he was really, really involved. So she introduced us and was just kind of well, he is a person that you definitely need to link up with if you're trying to get involved and get known and familiar with things. And then we kind of really didn't even cross paths again until the next year. And he was working in the dorm that I stayed in, and I was going through some stuff. So he just kind of made his way.
Mark done slid on in there.
Yeah, basically. He annoyed the crap out of me. It was, I could not stand him. He was so annoying. And he just thought, and he didn't even find me attractive. He thought I was ugly. So I don't even know how it just, But
that was his game.
So, I worked in the dorm, so I had the night shift. And so, or at least the evening/night shift. So,
Jason.
And it was an all females dorm. And so, I knew pretty much everybody in there. And, like she said, she was going through some things. So I got to see the good, the bad, the ugly of all the girls. Typically when you see them out there on campus, it's okay, but, not, I found my wife, very attractive, whether it's makeup or no makeup now. But at the time, it was just I see all of y'all, just is what it is. I saw, surface face value, right?
Uh-huh.
And I really wasn't interested in a relationship. So I'm I don't really find none of y'all attractive. I'm just, y'all come and talk to the guy at the desk. And then, but, one thing led to another of, just continued conversation. And then I was like, hey, she kind of is, cute, now looking at her and, so, but yeah.
So just for our listeners, because we have listeners all around the world, shout out to England and Canada. We charted the top charts on Canada, so shout out to you guys.
All right.
When we talk of U of M, we're talking about University of Memphis, just for our listeners that don't know, which I graduated from University of Memphis as well, so shout out to U of M. Hey.
Okay, so let's go into, leading up to having the conversation about having another baby, right? So you had one child, and then you all just always wanted more children, or what kind of, walk us through that, the decision to have another child.
That was 100% Marcus. I did not ever. No, I wanted, all my life, I've only wanted one child, one little girl. Her name was Perseus. I've had it picked out forever, and I was done. But Marcus was just, well, she needs a sibling and all that mess. So it's okay.
Are you an only child?
No, I'm not. So my thing about it was my next oldest brother is 5 years older than me. So, I always, I had the opportunity, especially when we were younger, to, hang out and play with them. But as we kind of got into those almost teenage years, it was somewhat a major disconnect. And so I didn't want that for my children. I wanted them as close as possible. I didn't want to be like, hey, 6 weeks later, she's pregnant after we had the first one. Nothing like that. But, 2 years apart, to where they could, kick it, when they're as kids. And then, even when they get into those teenage years and at the house, they have a close relationship with their siblings. And so I was like, I'm going to negotiate 2, right? And if we land on
2 more, let me clarify. He wanted 2 more outside of Perseus.
Yeah. So I was like, let me negotiate them, the second one, and if we land on the third one, I'll be okay. And the reason I said if we land on the third one, because the pregnancies are hard for me, and so
for you.
Yeah.
See,
They hard.
I was just thinking that, Kelsey. I was like, for him.
Actually, like, for you. Okay. So, anywho.
Look, yeah, it's hard going to Sonic and stuff at the middle of the night and holding their hands while they're going through all those contractions.
Oh,
You know,
bless
it's
y'all's
difficult.
heart.
It's difficult.
You know, you can't do that. You kind of just like a little helpless fish just flopping there. It's like, you know, I can get you some ice cream or whatever, but like I can't, you know, physically do anything to transfer some of the burden to me. So it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do a third one.
I can definitely feel you on that.
I can understand.
Yeah.
But it's still more difficult for us, but okay.
Right, thank you.
That sounds good.
I get that.
Okay, so you find out you're pregnant. Marcus convinced you to get pregnant again, and you get pregnant. You find out you're pregnant. You go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you that you are having triplets.
It was the most emotional day. Emotional.
Yeah, tell us all about it.
Well, so the doctor didn't even see us yet, so I had to do the ultrasound, and I was just, so when we did the ultrasound, my mom has a history of carrying low, so she always made sure to have me ask that question if the baby is carrying high or low, so that I can be cautious, you know, in case of miscarriage and so on and so forth. So I had asked her, you know, am I carrying high or low? Right after Marcus had said, oh, it is just one baby, like jokingly saying that, because she, I mean, when she did the probe, instantly you could see the baby. So, you know, but he's like, oh, but it's just one, you know, because she was kind of like taking her time. And she was like, oh, yeah, it's just one. I'm just looking for some stuff. So when I asked her, is the baby high or low, she started moving to see the placement. And I could see the pods because I'm used to, like, seeing ultrasounds and stuff. So I was like, these are 3 darn kids. But I was waiting for her to confirm it before I just started, like, tripping out. So she just paused. And so I'm like, well, can you not see them, you know, or see if it's high or low? And she's like, well, actually, it's 3. So he gets up, walks out the room, gone, just gone. I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out. She's trying to calm me. It's just a mess. Like, it was so emotional.
Yeah, I had
So Marcus, what was going through your mind, Marcus?
Like,
Why'd you walk out the room?
To be honest, like it was just like a shock because, as Kelsey said, like jokingly, like, you know, you look up on the screen, especially for the guys, or at least for maybe the standard guys. You don't know what the hell you're looking at. You're just looking at a bunch of black and white, gray, like, it's kind of like something. So that's why I made the joke. I was like, you know, just one in there, right? Because their family does have a history of running twins. And, you know, slightly on my mom's side, heavily on her mom's side, had twins. And so I just, you know, ultrasound, right? You know, kind of, I won't say a violated environment, but, you know, you just make light conversation. Yeah. And yeah, when she paused and when Kelsey asked that question, I was like, oh, come on, really, Lord? No, you playing, you playing, right? Dude, please tell me that you playing. And I was like, okay. Then I said, next step, I was like, okay, I'll be all right if it's 2. I was like, okay, if it's 2, okay. She said, nah, it's 3. My immediate action was to
finances.
Walk out the room.
When he came back in the room,
what the hell?
The first thing that he said when he came back in the room was, do you know that child care is going to be $5,000? That's the first thing he said when he came back in the room.
Well, he went outside and did a quick calculation or something.
I guess. Like, that's the only thing he said. He looked me dead in my face and said, you know that child care is going to be $5,000. So what? Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the last thing we need to be worried about is childcare. How are we going to live still? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Emotional day.
That was something. I remember he called me and told me, man, are you sitting down? And I was like, okay, yeah, let me go and sit down. So when he told me, I said, man, you should have told me to lay down. Because this is huge.
Right.
I said, man, you're going to be on the Ellen show. You're going to be on like, this is crazy. Hopefully we can get you on Ellen.
Right.
Man.
And so there was, just to clarify for everybody, there was no IVF involved. This was just a natural, spontaneous
spontaneous triplets. So it was like, I think, because I asked the doctor, and I lost it, but it's like 1 in maybe some hundred thousands, like
millions
1 in. It's very, very rare
to have triplets, especially without
any assistance, because you have to have of course the female to be able to produce that many eggs, and the male to, of course, have sperm enough to fertilize that many eggs.
To get to it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think honestly it's like 1 in a million because of the statistic I'm about to share. So they were all individually fertilized, so none of them split. There was 3 different eggs, three different sacs, 3 different placentas, all 3 different blood types.
Yeah. Like nothing is shared at all. It was completely its own baby, just planted.
So that's pretty much sealed the deal that God said you guys are going to be millionaires.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
And I find it funny because I had said, that, okay, I'm only going to have the 1 child. And then when, he said, okay, well, let's have another. So it was just like, okay, well, we're going to have 2. And I tell people all the time now, don't ever, set your plans without talking to God about it first, because God's like, okay, you said that this is going to be your last pregnancy. Okay, it is, but I'm going to give you all your kids at one time then. So don't set your plans without talking to God, because he's going to make a fool out of you, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and Kelsey, you said you were bawling. So why were you crying?
Oh my
exactly?
God!
I know it was unexpected. So it was just a flood of emotions, or what?
I mean, if I see people with more than 3 kids together, I instantly get anxiety, like really bad.
Right.
Just because it's unorganized. Half the time they're bad as hell, excuse my language, but it's just they're just all over the place. So it gives me anxiety. So that's why I never wanted that many kids, just because it was just mentally I just couldn't deal with it. And so, I had thought about that. I'm just like, okay, well, we have not just 3, we have 4. So how on earth are we going to be able to just live? First of all, are we going to be able to eat every day? Are we going to be poor now? So I was thinking about finances. I was thinking about that, mentally.
Man, we can't even all fit in the same car that we got, right?
We have to get a bus now. I just can't even.
A bus.
So I was just done living at that point, honestly. So it was just, a lot of emotions.
It was a 3-bedroom house. It was a
everything.
lot. It was
we had to change everything that day. Everything had to change.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. But the crazy thing about it was we knew that we were pregnant. So I think that is a blessing in our pregnancies, is that, of course, we're children of God. We're in His Word. We're definitely a God-fearing family. So when we, started having those conversations with God about, having another child, what that will look like. So for me, He told me a transition in 2018 was coming in 2019. Did I know it was that type of transition from going to a family of 3 to a family of 6, transition out of corporate America, just so many things, happened in 2019, to purchasing our house. I mean, it was just, I didn't know that it was going to be that dramatic. But in 2018, when I did my year-end planning, God said, 2019 is the transition year for you all. In February 20th, when I had my car accident, is what kind of begetted the whole situation. You just put everything in motion, fast forward over a year and a half later to here. But it was with Perseus. We talked to God, said, hey, we want to have a child. We tried on the first month and immediately got pregnant. 6 weeks later, we was at the doctor's office. On this one, it was, same thing, conversation. We tried in our window. It didn't happen. She knew something was kind of off or unregulated or whatever. So we got the doctor consultation. He said, this is what it is. Here, fixed it. And then in 6 weeks later, there you go. So.
Okay. So let's go talk about your pregnancy a little bit. So how was it? How was it carrying 3 children at one time? Because I was having a hard time with one. I was sick and fainting and doing all sorts of stuff with one child.
And I can only hold the child for about 10 minutes, and I'm ready to put them down. So.
Well, we talking about her pregnancy.
I know. I'm just saying.
Right,
Can I get in there a little bit?
Not the same. I mean, it was expected. It was awful. Perseus, like you said, having one was just terrible. So that was my really thing of why I didn't want to be pregnant again, because my pregnancy the first time just didn't go that well. With them, I had a lot of morning sickness in the beginning. With Perseus, it lasted almost the whole pregnancy. With them, it just lasted for 3 months. But it was uncontrollable morning sickness. There'd be a lot of days where he'd have to text or call my boss and say, hey, Kelsey's running late because she can't stop throwing up. So it was just really unbearable those first 3 months with the morning sickness. And then as the pregnancy moved on, when he finally put me on bed rest, I started starving to death. I was so hungry. And I'm not going to tell my little story because Marcus told me not to tell my paint a picture that I have of my pregnancy. But anyway, if you ever have time to watch the movie Slither, watch it. There's a lady who's pregnant with these little alien things in this barn, and I swear that was my whole pregnancy. So just look up that clip alone, Slither, and then the pregnant lady in the barn, and that's my pregnancy. But I was, it's terrible. But I was really hungry, all the time. Even those cans and box dinners that you have in your pantry that's been there since you moved in 20 years ago. We didn't even have that food. I just ate everything all the time. So that was annoying because I was really hungry all the time. And then closer to the end of the pregnancy, so I carried for 33 weeks. I needed to say that much. The goal was 30 at least, but then there's if you can go longer, then go longer. But I wasn't able to breathe anymore. Just going to the bathroom, I would have to lay down. Excuse me, if I was laying down in the bed, I'd have to get up, go to the end of the bed, stop, take a break. Then I'd have to go to the counter to the bathroom, stop, take a break. Then I'd have to go to the bathroom, sit there. Even after I'm done using the restroom, I'd still have to sit there to gather myself back together. Then I'd have to go to the sink, wash my hands, then go to the edge of the sink, take a break, and just keep repeating that cycle. And it was actually like a deep breath that I was losing. And then I was dizzy, so I was losing my balance a lot too, just walking from the bed to the foot of the bed. I would lose my balance, or I would start to get motion sickness. So it was just I just can't function anymore. Yeah. And so I had asked my doctor, I sent him a text or whatever and had to talk to him about it, because I'm just I don't know if this is just normal, this is what I'm supposed to be experiencing, because at the first visit he gave us all the negative stuff.
Shout out to Dr. Mullinex.
Yes,
he's
I love him. He's the
best
person ever. If you're in Memphis and you need an OBG, he's the best. I promise you he is.
He told us his phrase was simply this. He was it's gonna be good until that.
Until it's not. And and he was serious. And he said, and when it gets bad, you're gonna know, because everything's gonna be bad. Everything. But he gave us all of the bad stuff at the first visit. So he's so this is what you're going to look at, this is what to expect. But he didn't say anything about me halfway dying. So I'm okay, well, I don't think that part is normal. So, and so when I text him, he immediately was okay, no, you need to go to the hospital right now. I need to check some stuff out. You need to go. We need to figure out what's going on with you. What hospital are you going to again? Okay, great. Get in your car, go, and I'll see you in a minute. And then as soon as I get to the hospital, I didn't even have to check in. They're oh yeah, Dr. Mullinex already called us. Let's get you back to the room. And then the reason why, to just shorten this, the reason why I was having those issues was because over 30% of my blood supply was going to my uterus. So I didn't have any blood, and I was severely anemic. They said that your levels are supposed to be from a 45 to a 50. Mine were at a 17. So they said, so if you have to have immediate surgery right now, which I also was having contractions as well. So they said, so if your babies are going to come right now, you're not going to make it through surgery. You're going to die. So that was just, the end part was really, I think, the worst, just because it was everybody was pressuring to keep them in. But I was just y'all don't understand. I'm dying for real. I need to, but
drop this load.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even think I had like that time to just like bond. Like, you know, when you're pregnant, Ashley, you know, you've been pregnant, so you know how it is. Like, yes, you're going through the things, but you can still have that like mommy bonding time with your babies. I don't even think that I like got to experience it, just because it was just, even at month 3, it was just having to carry my stomach everywhere and walk around. He had to give me like this belly harness, because my body was always a month over what it actually was.
Right.
So, so I mean, it was just, ugh.
Yeah.
Hard. Yes. And Marcus, how were you able to support her?
Yeah,
through all this?
It was hard.
None.
It was hard. And that's why, and I mean, you know, part of the reason why God said, you know, Kelsey, you want 1, Marcus, you want 3, you know, here's 4. Right? That's kind of a little joke that we came up with, is the pregnancies are just hard for me. Like, so, you know, at the time I was still, I was still working in corporate America. And so just, you know, having to, you know, and they kind of understood, but it's totally different when, you know, you're an entrepreneur, right? And I still treat my schedule just like, you know, hey, you know, you work for yourself, but if you don't clock in, sit down, and put them 8 to 10 hours in a day, your family ain't gonna survive. So it's not like, you know, you can just willy-nilly free go do whatever you want, but just having to, you know, try to manage that that relationship, and, you know, all the doctor's appointment, it was really hard for me to, you know, really help people understand what I was going through, or trying to support her going through, right? Because there was nothing I could physically do outside of, you know, the back rubs and, you know, buy stuff and, you know, tell you I love you and I'm sorry. Sorry, I got such great sperm. I don't know, you know, it won't happen again. You know, so it was just hard, because like I just feel so kind of helpless. Because I'm a lover. I love hard. Like, if I'm involved with you, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's family, like, you gonna know. And if I'm not, you gonna know as well. Like, you just gonna know. So it was hard for me. Definitely harder for her. But I think it's harder for me just because who I am as a person. I put my all into. I don't know how to go half on anything. It's either all or nothing. And again, you're gonna know if I'm all in or if I'm not at all. So.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. I know that it's like, especially if you're used to, you know, helping and, you know, it's just hard to see your significant other, your spouse, in such a fragile state. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and there's, like you said, there's nothing that you can really do about it except for give her back rubs and say, I'm sorry.
That's it.
So I can understand that.
Yeah, so I'm one of them dads. I do the laundry, you know, I do dishes, I change diapers, you know, I'm all in. Like, so again, I'm not one of those dads like, you know, mom handles, you know, it's been a little bit different with the triplets, right? But I mean, even still, you know, I'm changing bed sheets, washing clothes, and
I mean, he did a lot, honestly.
You know, so
I mean, as far as like the support, he did everything I asked him to do, and it wasn't just like go get this, go get that. It was okay. Right now, today, I just cannot.
Yeah, you and Perseus, y'all need to go to the park for a few hours.
You just get Perseus and y'all do something. I have to lay here all day, and I'm sorry, I just have to. I can't do anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, definitely, I feel you. I wasn't carrying triplets, but like I said, I fainted and some more stuff because this little guy, he was just sucking like the life out of me. And I don't know what was wrong with him. And I had an iron deficiency too. The doctor kind of told me something similar. He was like, if you had the baby today, we would be afraid that you would just like bleed out or something because your iron is so low, you know.
Yep.
So but you know, the second pregnancy is also harder too because you already have a child. So so like I said, just being able to take Perseus someplace and just letting you rest, because I was like, why does this feel so much harder? Well, because I have another baby that is
sucking on you too. He's sucking the life out of you too.
Yeah, I have another child that needs me and needs all these things, and so so Jason definitely came through with that as well. So
ooh, I get some credit. Hey, shout out to Jason. I get some credit.
Okay. So you bring the babies home, but it's the middle of a pandemic, though. Didn't y'all bring the babies home in the pandemic?
Well, I'm gonna give like the short version. So not really. We we had them in January. So of course, like it was starting, but it wasn't as big as it was, here until March, which they were home by then. They all came home differently. So David stayed in there for like 2 weeks, and then the other two stayed for like a month and 2 weeks. So, but then they came home like 2 days apart. Yeah. So, but I mean, they prepared us kind of for Corona because it was during flu season, and they take it very serious at the hospital. Yeah. So it was only a limited amount of people that could come in and see them. You were given these badges, so you had to, of course, be assigned to that baby. You had a washing station that you had to wash up before, like as soon as you got in there. And then when you get outside of the room, you have to once again sanitize. If I touch one baby, I have to go to the sink and I have to wash my hands again before I can touch another baby. There were certain parts of the days that I was able to hold them and certain times that I wasn't. So, I mean, it was kind of like the pandemic, I guess. It's just not as strict as it has been now that I hear at the hospital.
Yeah, so like I said, it was big at the like January, February over in China, but as we know, it didn't even news-wise make it over to the U.S. until late February, and then it really wasn't until the third week of March that that's when everything came to shut down, like social distancing, everything. Because the 2 weeks before, the first week of March, we had the sip and see. So, I mean, house full of people.
And then that following week, we had Perseus' birthday. So, it really wasn't that.
In 2 weeks, I mean, we probably had easily, a turn of 100 people in the house. Yeah. And, God blessed us to, be able to have that. And nobody got sick. Nobody, spread anything. But, that third week after Perseus' birthday is when it shut down. And really, it was like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of cool little vacation. But going into after a month, Perseus, she loves school. She's like, okay, I've seen Nona a lot in the dogs and where's school at? And then, I'm trying to work and she's trying to, get them. And so they're on a different schedule. It was as the months kept going and the weeks kept flowing, it definitely got even more challenging than just natural.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right. So do you all have help? Well, someone to help out with the baby?
We have a nanny. She, but she's also a first-time mom. So she had her baby 2 weeks before I had the triplets. So we kind of went through the pregnancy together. But so she comes and she helps out 3 days a week. But she's starting to just go through some things, being a first-time mom. So we don't have as much of her anymore. But my mom is always here if I need her. I call her and she's coming right then. So we have,
because I just can't imagine. I'm just trying to imagine 3 babies at one time, and so
3 babies and a toddler.
Yeah, and a toddler,
and 3 dogs.
Yeah, and
a fish.
And a fish.
We don't need y'all to wait on that llama. We need y'all to wait on that one.
Come on, llama queen, come through, llama queen.
My thing is, if I could just get everything I want now, then I can get on a good schedule, and then I'm done.
Not to mention the third dog is a great name.
Yeah, he's a great name.
He's a
horse.
Exactly.
A horse.
So
a big horse.
Yeah.
So what? Oh, go ahead, Jason.
So I was gonna say, Marcus. So we talked about supporting, and we know for men, another way of supporting is monetarily, right? So what are you doing to? And I'm pretty sure Kelsey is doing her thing too. But I just want to know what are y'all doing as a family? What are y'all doing both to bring the income and to help other family members? I guess make a living.
Got it. Nah, so great question. And so, I mean, I have to really punt it back to God and amazing support from, this young lady sitting next to me. So, yes, we've been rocking for 9 years. And
so the short version.
So then fast forward 2019. So I'm a third generation entrepreneur. And so, what I do right now is I'm a real estate investor, real estate professional, whatever title you want to call it. But the reason I thought I'm a third generation entrepreneur is because, God blessed me leading up until 2018, 2019 to be able to throw out a lot of ideas on the table. So I probably got about 10 different businesses that and ideas that I have had the privilege to prove of concepts over them. And so I kind of give some business advice. And so in 2018, when I had that conversation with God, I was like, okay, God, we've, ran through the drawing board of all these 10 ideas, and we narrowed it down to time, energy, money, and what you have to sacrifice. And so then when we fast forward in 2019, real estate became the most prominent one that I had to make a decision on. And so when 2019 hit, I said, okay, cool, that's the one that I'm going with. And then when February hit, when I had the accident and just that whole led to everything with short-term disability and all of that good jazz, and then leaving corporate America in June 2019 on June 20th, that's how we've been able to be a blessing. But I mean, it was 7 or 8 years of God preparing us for these moments, right? It wasn't just here's triplets, figure it out. Like he was, training her to support me and me to, hear her like, I'm giving you all the support, you need to give me some time. It was a lot of training to be able to handle this blessing and to handle this responsibilities. But to short answer, real estate is what we do. She's a designer. I'm
forced to do it.
Yeah, she got the touch.
Let me say that for real.
It's a family love affair, She kind of really don't like it, but she good at it though.
She like them commas when they come through.
Yeah.
Dang, Jason, you gonna do me like that?
Yeah, it's, the store I hate right now is Target. Every time she goes to Target, it's
I spend like $200-300 every
like,
time.
bro, I'm like, no, like, why do we have to go to Target? That's
I can't help it.
A very touchy conversation. I'll go to Target with Mercedes after I pick her up. Like, why are we going to
Mercedes
Target?
doesn't even want to leave Target. She loves Target.
I don't like Target.
She screamed yesterday when we left, and the lady was like, "Oh, you don't want to leave Target?" So we love Target. Support my habits.
So I'm assuming that that's what you do you with the kids full time, right?
Yes.
And you're not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're just strictly doing the real estate.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a little vlog that I'm trying to do just like for entertainment for me, just, because over time you're with them 24/7 every day of the week. Like, even though you have help, sometimes I still have to intervene because they're my kids and they only respond to me. So it's just draining. So, you have to have something to kind of put your mind elsewhere to help you pull away sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Boles, real quick, do you want to drop your tagline or something? Somebody want to follow you or, web address?
Yeah, so, I mean, the best way to get in contact with me is our company, website, customizedminds.com. That's CustomizedMinds.com. Just hit the inquiry, submit, hey, shoot me an inquiry there. I am on Facebook. That's the one I'm at the most. So MarcusBoles. I do have a YouTube channel. So just simply type in MarcusBoles. I think we got like 200 and something videos on there. I just drop little nuggets.
Yeah, inspirational videos and stuff. I listen to them and I say, okay, Boles still rocking.
Man, I try to do my best to give back. I mean, I just have so much inside of me of people just pouring to me. So I do my best to give back. But man, definitely, we focusing on getting Kelsey up there, and definitely rolling. And then I let her give the
it's just if you have like parenting stuff or whatever. We have Instagram for the triplets and for Perseus too. So just kind of look at them. You can access everything, I think, though, through his Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and give their handles too, since we're here.
Well, Perseus, it's Perseus_Boles, and her name is PRISEIS_BOLES, and that's for her Instagram. And then for the triplets Instagram, it's z.z.p._babyx3.
Yeah, long as hell, but all
okay.
right.
Yeah, and we'll definitely put it in our show notes too.
Yeah, and real quick, I know people out there around the world are generous. They would like to give and donate and all that good stuff. Is there a way they can donate something to you to help with the kids and everything? Because there's a lot going on.
I mean, we have Cash App if that's the easiest for anybody.
What's your Cash App?
Yours is just MarcusBoles, right?
Yeah, I think it's just the $, MarcusBoles, all one word. So I mean, yeah, I mean we people have poured into us. Don't get me wrong. I mean, God has blessed us.
So I mean, we're not hurting for anything, but of course we've learned to take blessings.
Yeah.
So we,
Some people want to plant seeds into your life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. So we appreciate that 100%. But yeah, his Cash App is just $MarcusBoles all together.
Yeah, B as in boy, O as in Oscar, L as in Lima, E as in Edward, S as in Sam. Boles.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So, what have the two of you been doing to keep your relationship strong? Because now I'm sure you have like a lot of demands, right? So, do you guys get any free time together, like for this? Because this is also for people who may be expecting multiple, babies. So, just curious as to.
So we can go in a lot of that on the live, but give them a couple nuggets now.
I'm trying to think of like things to give for advice. We don't really get like a whole lot of time together. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's everything that we do is for our kids. So the minute we wake up, we have to plan our entire day around them. With them being triplets, and if you're expecting multiples, you can expect to have a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of just checkups and things like that, just because there's a lot of things when you have multiple babies. And premature babies as well. So if I'm not here at the house with them, I'm gone to an appointment or doing something with them for them. And then, of course, he's working all the time because he's the only one who's bringing in income. So he has to work a lot to, be able to support everybody. So we don't get a whole lot of time. When my mom comes, if the kids are taking a nap or something like that, then, of course, she'll take Perseus, and then we have a little bit of time. We'll play board games. That's really what we do when we have like free time. But we have also like hit a point in our marriage like where we have been able just now to get a little bit more time back just because the triplets are on a different schedule. So we have a little bit time, but it's like we hit another block because it's like we've grown so much like individually that we haven't really focused on growing together. So it's almost like the time that we have together now, the little space that we have, we kind of don't know how to communicate, I guess, or how to function together, like to actually be able to maximize the time that we have. So that's just like advice to just, if you're having a kid, don't, expect, like people say that stupid thing of kids are going to make it better, but they don't. You really have to have a strong foundation first. If you don't have a strong foundation, then you're not going to be able to really continue to work together when your kids get here because you have to be so separated to take care of your children.
And I'll say this. I mean, I think Corona, so I'll say it'd be interesting to do another 6-month check-in or 3 months check-in on down the road.
For sure.
Because we did have that Corona period. So, typically when you're just able to, per se, 2-year-old going to school, I mean, you were just always together for 3 months, like, right? I didn't really, like, the first month, I didn't really believe in it. Like, it's family. But, 3 months of just really, all y'all really did was go outside. We're blessed to have, a nice little backyard, so we can kind of escape that way. But even just going to the park or whatever, or, when mom did come and take care of them, or, she goes to mom's house, and we couldn't really go anywhere. So when we were used to before the triplets even got here of, just simply going to the movies or even taking the triplets to wherever, we just didn't have that. So it put a different...
we had like space fillers.
Yeah.
Like, most relationships you have your fillers. Like you have the things that you're going to do together, and that's like y'all spending time.
Right.
But actually like being able to effectively communicate and just have a good day, just to be able to walk in the kitchen and not just like snare and be like, I really hate you. So
I'm seeing you again.
Like that. We kind of just like lost touch with that.
Yeah.
So you know, we realized it, which that's what you need to do. If you get to that point, don't, you know, just like quickly throw in the towel or just say whatever. Just realize that and then figure out, okay, now what are our next steps? What do we need to do? And I explained to him the same amount of time and money that we invest into ourselves separately and on our businesses and things that we're trying to do is the same exact of time, money, and energy we need to invest in us. So we are like, you know, seeking like a third-party counselor, I guess you could say, to just kind of come in to help us figure out a good enough schedule. So
we believe in coaches.
Maintain them and be able to communicate and get us back on track.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
And I know, speaking of time, I know y'all have to
sorry.
I know y'all have to run. Any last words y'all want to say before we wrap it up?
Thank y'all, first of all, for taking out the time to even want to get a little insight on our life. And for anybody who needs help with anything or who just needs advice or who has questions that we probably didn't get to answer or get to talk about, you know, y'all can always DM, Facebook, whatever. Go to the website. I mean, just send like a personal email that, hey, you know, I want to talk to Kelsey about whatever. He'll make sure I get it. And yeah, thanks.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you guys for coming on our show, Loveology Podcast, full of love. Love is in the air and it creates babies. So if you listen to this episode, you're probably going to be pregnant afterwards.
Oh, gosh.
So we thank Marcus and Kelsey for coming on our show. Man, an awesome, awesome couple. Definitely check them out, baby. Any last words before we rock and roll?
No, that's it. I already kept them long enough.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and y'all take care.
Bye. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, man. We're glad to have Marcus and Kelsey on. If you made it this far, you know, apologize for the wind. They was outside because they had the triplets and other kids inside the house, so they was outside on their backyard that they was talking about. And that's the wind blowing in the trees. It wasn't static. So it's all love, baby. We had some things that we wanted to ask, but they had to go because they had to, you know, doctor's appointments and stuff. So, babe, what else do we have for them?
Yeah, so yeah, like Jason said, as you all can imagine, you know, 4 kids, right, under 2 and under,
with
you
3
know.
dogs, a goldfish, and a possible llama coming.
Yes, of course, their time was very tight, so we didn't get a chance to just talk about what was the joy that, you know, what was some of the most joyful things about having the triplets. So we definitely didn't want to leave that out, right? So
so you sent a text message and asked them?
Yeah, we basically asked them that after, and they just sent me a statement, and I'll read it to you. So this is what Kelsey, you know, we can just say it for both of them, I guess.
Yeah.
My greatest joy is just getting to experience life with them. To watch God's plan and purpose for us as a family unfold is incredible. I am truly blessed to be their mother and get to know each of them. This has been my favorite part of my life story so far. And I also asked her about tips for people who could be expecting multiples, right? And so she said the tips would be to just find light of the situation. It may seem hard, stressful, nerve-wracking, and almost impossible, but the blessing of children alone is worth it. All the bad, in quotation marks, in between, you can do it. God is with you. He will never give you more than you can handle.
Hey,
amen.
Amen. Why you say you can do it?
Because I was about to. The can was capitalized, so I was about to say can is capitalized, but then I just decided to say do it. So, anyways.
Well, I'm gonna read what Marcus put. Marcus wrote, "The most joyful part has been to see God's will for our display daily. We are all very unique and different, but yet very similar. To see how we have to work together with just about everything, we as a family is only showing we will be strong no matter what the challenge we face. The best tip for couples expecting multiples, each day is a new day that will present its own opportunities and challenges, but having a daily routine and sticking with it as much as possible will allow you to triumph and maintain your sanity. Awesome, Marcus.
So yes, we want to thank Kelsey and Marcus again. It was so much fun speaking to them, and I'm just like, woo, I can't even complain about having just one little one.
Sure, I can. Look, and they will be on our live on Facebook Live. We're gonna go Instagram, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them though. We'll figure that out. But yeah, we're gonna definitely go live. So check us out on Facebook on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Marcus and Kelsey will be there on live, and so they'll be there to answer some questions. So we appreciate y'all. Anything else, love?
That's it.
All right, catch y'all next time. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace out.
Bye. You've been listening to the Loveology podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.